Welcome to InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
And we're here to talk about the Salem Public Library's summer reading program for kids and adults, but mainly this one for kids, because we have with us Karen Fisher. She is head of youth services at the Salem Public Library. And look, you brought with you toys, traps and toys, and beautiful prizes for reading.
No, it's what we do at the library. You know, we always bring props. We're ready for anything.
Well, I love the title. It's going to be, this year, it's A Universe of Stories. What's that all about?
Isn't that wonderful? It's all about a space theme. Mm-hmm. And Salem Public Library is in a really lucky place because we are one of the NASA at My Library participants, and that grant program gives us some really fun toys that we can share with the public. And we also have from the Space Science Institute all summer long, we will have a huge exhibit on our main floor called Explore Earth.
Ooh.
And it's an interactive exhibit, and I think our community is going to love it. So we're real excited to bring that, and that's all ages should enjoy that.
Well, when does it start? Give us a lineup for what's going to happen.
Well, Summer Reading Club begins, sign-ups start Tuesday, June 4th. This year, we're actually going to all online sign-ups. So we're pretty excited about it. People will be able to, on their phone, they've got a mobile app, so they can use their iPad or their other mobile device, and they can log their hours online, which is something we've never been able to allow people to do. We didn't have the ability. Mm-hmm. So we're real excited about that, and kids and teens can earn badges, and for some, that's part of the incentive, as well as the prize drawing tickets and things.
Sure.
And the prize drawings will actually do that online, and we will have lists of the prizes available for the drawing prizes. They'll be available on our website that I think kids will enjoy.
Oh, what did you bring with you?
Well, this year, what I brought are 10-hour prizes. And this is, they get these backpacks. Now the adults really like a regular just reading, they like a book bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But we found that the kids and teens like these drawstring backpacks better. They're not as heavy, and they don't overwhelm them, and a lot of the kids are smaller size, so these tend to work better. We have the purple for the preschool, the listeners.
Cute.
We have the black for the elementary age kids, because we're kind of going with that outer space theme. And then the navy is for the teens, and the teens have a different look on the design.
And this, every person that completes the 10 hours and documents the 10 hours gets one of these?
Yeah.
So English doesn't have to be your first language to participate in the reading club.
Not at all. We have a few books in many languages. Mm-hmm. We have a fair collection of Spanish language books. Mm-hmm. But those who, for instance, don't speak Spanish or English, they can still find a few books in the children's area to read to children, or for children to read to themselves if they're reading in that language. But we also have wordless books, and wordless books are wonderful to share stories in your home language with your child, and it's also great for those parents who may not be readers themselves, but they can share stories by reading the pictures and giving that dialogue with their child. That's very valuable to share that reading skill, because it is part of literacy development, is being able to look through books with pictures and give a narrative and share a story.
A while back we had a guest on who was doing a reading program, and she was just talking about the benefits of children and adults reading together, how wonderful it is.
That it's so important to not only bonding with each other, but as readers.
Just improving their reading.
Just having that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have, in the wintertime, we have Snuggle Up Reading Club where families read together and they earn a book at the end. And just spending time together as a family is a wonderful thing. And reading together, the nice thing is adults get to share books that were their favorites when they were young
Oh, yeah.
with their children, and that really can bring up questions that kids have about, well, what was life like when you were young and things. So, I mean, there are a lot of really wonderful things that can happen with relationship when you share a story together.
This sounds like that you really are keying into where people really are. Where are kids and teens especially when it comes to reading?
What I've found is if kids aren't enjoying it, it may be because they haven't found the right book.
They just haven't found what they want to read.
Right. I mean, generally it has to do with, is it something that speaks to you as a person? Is it something you need more pictures? Graphic novels have opened up reading for so many kids.
What are they?
Graphic novels are what we would, back in the old days, we would have called them comic books.
I read any number of those.
But I mean, they have history books
Yeah.
and science books that are in that graphic novel format. But I do see people still wanting, I mean, the Harry Potter series just blew everybody out of the water when it showed up, because those were thick books. And everybody was, well, kids don't like to read anymore. People don't like to read anymore. And then here comes Harry Potter, and it was this thick book, and
book
kids who
after
didn't-
book after book.
Yeah.
and and it is still something that's highly popular, which, good grief.
What does that tell you about what kids want to read?
It tells me that they want a great story, and when they're given a great story, they're going to read it. And if they can't read it, they're going to listen to it.
Yeah. Well, and also the idea of imagination, where you read something and you imagine what it looks like and what the people are doing and where they are and all of that. I mean, that whole process is really wonderful, where everybody gets to sort of personalize the book on their own.
And then, of course, your parents, it's, you got to read this book, Mom, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now the parents have all read it. Yeah. One of the cool things is that because our program is so exciting, kids will just read and read and read. And we are going to get lots of complaints from parents about how their kids won't do anything this summer but read. So,
What
to
a
help
shock.
out with that, we also have craft and activity programs and performances and other things going on at the library so that they can break up that time so they're not only reading this summer.
Well, listen, why don't we just go? do InSight from the library.
Yeah.
Oh, you make it sound like such a
You're
wonderful...
so invited.
That'd be great. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. We could talk a lot about this because, if anything, reading really is the backbone of all kinds of knowledge. However you get it, it still has to come through in words eventually, right? And shapes all of us. Love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for letting me talk about one of my favorite subjects.
We would never have known. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us. Remember, the summer reading program, crack open a book or audiobook.
We'll see you there.